Hello friends, welcome back to my channel if you're returning. If you're new, welcome. My name is Rachel and I'm a reseller on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Today we're doing a 90-day update on my Quicklotz original mystery box that I purchased a few months ago. So if you want to see if I actually made any money and if I would buy another one, definitely stick around. So this was the box, and I will link the original unboxing video down below. This was the box that when I opened it up, I said, wow, this is a really great box. Like even for Quicklotz, I'm really impressed on, what's inside this box. And so I went immediately to the Quicklotz website to order another one. And I realized that the box that they had like in the picture of, for that listing was the exact contents. It was all like, opened up and spread out of like what your box could contain. And that was like the exact contents of the box that I unboxed. They literally just like took all that stuff and put it back in the box and taped it up, and I was the person that got it. So I was thinking like maybe it would be too good to be true, but here today we're going to talk about, did I actually make good money on this box? What sold, how much it sold for, and then based on the results of this one, if I would buy another one. So if you like reseller content though, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. I actually did go and buy another one of these because I thought it was a fluke. Like this is like them putting their best foot forward because it's the one that they're featuring on the website. So I ordered another one just to see. At that point I was curious, like, are they all this good, or did I just get really lucky because I got the display model, right? So I will have that 90-day update coming up in the next maybe a couple weeks. So subscribe if you want to see that, and definitely hit that like button if you find this helpful. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll like kind of run down the box. I'll show you what has sold. I think most things I have screenshots for. There's a couple eBay sales since they're past 90 days that I don't have. I'll show you what I still have left out of the box, and then at the end I'll give you kind of like my final analysis of whether or not I would buy another one based on the results of this one. So out of this box, so this box cost $300. It was $300 on the site. I don't remember like how many pieces it said it had in it, if I'm being honest. I have here that there were 33 pieces, and I listed 28 of those 33 pieces. There were a few that I just didn't list. Either that weren't listing or that I couldn't list, which I'll talk about. Of those, 23 have sold, and I have only 5 things remaining. So starting from the lowest item, I had the BTS CD, the album, like compact disc, and that one sold for $5 on eBay. I don't know how many people buy CDs anymore, but yeah, that was a good media mail sale on eBay. I don't have a screenshot for that because it actually sold within a day. Then I had the golf balls, the Wilson golf balls, and these sold for $9 on Mercari. These actually only took a week, and based on how much they cost retail versus how much the customer paid for them, plus the customer had to pay for shipping, it wasn't a bad deal at all. I'm actually like totally cool with the results. Then there was ultra slim brow pencil from the brand Too Faced, and this was a $9 Mercari sale. This one took a long time to sell, and then finally $9. But again, based on the retail price, $9 isn't bad for what it was. Then there were these reusable hot cups from Starbucks, and it was a stack of them. This was a $10 Poshmark sale. Now, here's the thing though. These cups, I think, retailed for the set for like $14.99. So if somebody paid $10 on Poshmark, they also paid, what is it, $7.98 or whatever for shipping. So they actually ended up paying above retail, even though I only made a $10 sale. They weren't worth that much. But that was still pretty cool. And that actually, those sold the next day after I listed. So not only did I think this box was good when I did the unboxing, but this stuff actually started selling really fast. So this was a very exciting time in my life, watching what was going to happen with this box. Next up was the Olivia Newton-John physical vinyl album. This sold on Poshmark actually. It sold in a bundle, so the buyer purchased a few different things, but the portion that I allocated to this one item was $11. That wasn't really fun to ship because I don't really keep boxes the size of a vinyl record. So if I remember correctly, I had to ship it in like a big box that was big enough to fit all the sides and just put a bunch of like packing material around it because I didn't have anything flat enough. And then that person had ordered a couple other things too. And it was a weird item to ship, but whatever, it's out of here. Then I don't think I have a screenshot for this. I had a PS5 game, Battlefield 2042. That was a $12.99 eBay sale. That was an outright purchase, and I had priced it kind of based on the other that were for sale. So that one's not surprising. And it only took a week to sell. Then there were these wrist weights, and I actually almost kept these for myself until I realized the sell-through rate on these. These sold the next day after listing for 20 bucks on Poshmark. And if I remember correctly, that wasn't too far off from what they retailed for by the time you added shipping. So that was a good sale, I would say. Then there was the white golf visor. This also sold the next day after listing. This was from Polo Ralph Lauren, $22 sold by offer. So I listed it for $25, sent offers to likers. Pretty much the way I run my Poshmark closet. As soon as it's listed, I start sending offers to people. I don't let it wait for any certain number of days or anything. Like I just price it according to, I know I'm going to send offers. And yeah, so that sold really quick. One of the first people that liked it got the offer and made the purchase. This was a maternity nursing bra, and a little story time on this one. There's 2 sales on it. It sold once for $20, and the customer opened a case saying that it was dirty. And like she sent pictures of like dirt, and I'm like, I don't know how that happened. Like it looked really bad in her pictures. I'm going to be honest. I don't have the pictures to show you, but I'm like, whatever, just send it back. So she sends it back to me, and I look at the item, and it's like not even, it's like a little bit of warehouse dust. It's not even like something happened to it in transit. It's like, it was like so faint that I could barely even see it when I opened it up, and I'm like, oh, this is the dust. Like really, it was just a little bit of warehouse dust that would have came off if she would have just washed it. But whatever, I just relisted it. I disclosed that there was a little bit of warehouse dust that would come off in the wash, and it actually sold for $22. So it sold for more than what it sold for originally. So go figure, you know, you can't be mad at all the cases, and sometimes you miss things, and sometimes it comes back to you and you get more money for it. So whatever. Like, I know $2 isn't a lot, but that's okay. I'll take it. Next up, this was a very, very interesting item. So this is a pink baseball hat from Billionaire Boys Club. And I almost didn't list this because it felt very cheap and flimsy, like it was from the dollar store. And I'm like, what is Billionaire's Boys Club? Like, I have no idea. So I did a little research on it, and I'm glad I did because I literally almost put this in my Goodwill bag. I'm not going to lie. This hat, this brand is, I think it was Pharrell Williams, and it's a streetwear brand, and it's actually very pricey. And I was not able to find this exact hat anywhere, but similar hats were selling for like $50 to $60. So I was like, okay, yeah, we're not donating that. And this only took a week to sell on Poshmark for $30. And I think somebody sent me an offer. And yeah, I went ahead and took the $30 offer. I was fine with it. I think I might have listed it at like $40. So the offer was reasonable. And you know, sometimes it's the stuff that feels cheap that's really not cheap. So just lesson learned for me on that one. Next up, I don't have a screenshot for this either. This was a Kurt Geiger purple quilted card case. And this was another thing that I'm like, who's Kurt Geiger? Like, I've never heard of this. And looking up comps, actually, it's, you know, a pretty pricey brand, or at least it has a decent resale value. So this one took about 3 weeks, but it still sold for $30 on eBay, which is why I don't have a screenshot. Next up was the medium impact sports bra from Spanx. This sold within 5 weeks on Poshmark for $30. Then I had these gold frame sunglasses from Ray-Ban, and these, if I remember correctly, these were not in the best condition. I do think they had some scratches. They might have even been bent. I don't know, but I listed them anyway because they're Ray-Ban, right? And I still sold them in 4 days on Mercari for $31, even with the damages. So, hey, it is what it is. Then there was this, this box was wild, you guys. This box was wild. This was a round brush, hairbrush, like for blow drying. And I took it out of the box and it had clearly been used. Someone had at least tried it, right? Because I could see little blonde hairs like all wrapped up in it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not listing this. Like, unless this is a $200 hairbrush, like I'm not listing a used hairbrush. Sure enough, I look up this brush and it's like, some of them were selling for like over $100. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is actually going to be worth like me pulling the hairs out of this, disclosing that it's used and still trying to sell it. Like, I can't believe this. But yeah, I did. I sat here and picked all the hairs out when I did the listing. I mentioned in the listing that, that I took the hairs out and that it was used, and it still sold on Poshmark the day I listed it for $35. So used hairbrush for the win. Who knew? Then there was the Gilded Glamour eyeshadow palette from the brand Tote. This was a tough one because it was in like a box, and I couldn't open the box without like opening all the packaging. And I wanted to kind of make sure it wasn't like cracked or, because eyeshadow, if it gets banged around a lot, it's going to break. And the box was pretty beat up. So I was afraid to try to sell this. I'm pretty sure I disclosed that as well, that, it's new, it's in the box is beat up, and I can't see if it's actually any good. But it's still sold for $36 on Poshmark by offer, which means I listed it for $40 and sent an offer that someone accepted, and this sold after 10 days. There was a Skims bodysuit in this box. I don't understand the Skims thing. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I just don't get it. I've had the opportunity to buy some Skims, like to resell, and the price is nowhere near like what I think would be profitable based on what they cost retail. But anyway, I'm like, oh, okay, my first time getting Skims, like I'm going to go ahead and try it. And then I realized they were a size 2X. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll just try this on and see, because it was really like a nice looking bodysuit that, potentially I could wear. It had to have been the smallest 2X. Like normally I wear like a size large or maybe extra large. This was a 2X and it was way too small. I'm like, whose size 2X is this? But anyway, I tried it on. It didn't fit me. I listed it. It sold in 2 days on Poshmark for $40. So somebody needed the incredibly small. I swear that thing was more like a size medium. Anyway, the next thing up was the LSA Dapple Carafe. And this was a pricey water holder jug thing. I've never seen such an expensive, like, little blown glass carafe. But I guess they are, like, handmade. They're one of a kind or something. I'm not into stuff like that, so I don't really know. But this one did take 5 weeks, but it did sell for $46 on Poshmark. So there's a market out there for everybody, for everything. Next up was the Marc Jacobs Perfect Perfume Spray. This one went crazy on Mercari. I don't remember how much I listed it for, maybe like 75 bucks. Because when I looked it up, I could see that it actually retailed pretty high. And I got like, on Mercari, like you can only offer a certain number below the like listing price. It doesn't let you go more than like 30%. I must have got 10 messages the day it was listed. Will you take 15? Will you take 20? And like lowball. I've never had so many messages about an item in one day or like 2 days ever. So finally, and it was only on Mercari too. It was kind of weird. I had a couple likers on Poshmark. I sent some offers, but I mean, Mercari went like nuts over it. I don't know what that was about. But after 5 days, somebody sent me a $50 offer, which I did accept. I felt that was fair. But yeah, that was crazy. Normally Mercari is pretty low maintenance, and people either like pay the outright price that I list, or they will like send me an offer, or they'll message me with an offer, which usually if they have to message me, it means the offer's too low because it's more than 30% off of what I'm asking. But that was crazy. That was so crazy with that Marc Jacobs perfume. Then there was this travel shawl from Barefoot Dreams, which I love finding and selling Barefoot Dreams. This didn't sell quite as high as I thought it would, but I still got a decent $65 for this. It was new without tag. No, it had the tag. It was new with tag. And based on comps, 65 is kind of on the low end, but it was one of those things like somebody sent me an offer that wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I also, you know, sometimes your first offer is your best offer. So I went ahead and just took that one. This next item I almost didn't list because I really just didn't want to be wrong. So this was a vintage, well, it was a Burberry scarf, and it said Burberry's on the tag. And with luxury items, like, you don't want to be selling inauthentic items. And I had no idea if this was an authentic silk scarf or not. After doing a pretty substantial amount of research, I came to the conclusion that it was authentic. It was just vintage. It was very old. So I just listed it accordingly, and it took about 6 weeks. And I did kind of drop the price a few times during closet clear out, but I eventually did sell it for $94 by offer on Poshmark. So I didn't have any complaints about authenticity or anything like that. And it did get a ton of interest and attention after I did list it, but no fake, hopefully. If it is, the person who bought it didn't complain. But I really don't think it was fake. I think it was really just vintage. Next up, and I don't have a screenshot for this, but I'm going to post a picture of what it is here in case you ever see this, because I had no idea how much these things go for. This is the Venom Back Wearable Heat Patch or Pack, or I don't know. This was another thing. I'm like, who's going to buy this? And then this sold the same day I listed it for $100 on eBay. And I think I listed it at $120. I got a bunch of lowball offers, and then someone offered me $100, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to deal with these lowballers. Let me just take this $100 offer. And literally the same day I listed it, people went nuts over that thing. So if you ever find wearable heat, check it out. And the highest selling item out of this box, I almost didn't list this either because this box put me way out of my comfort zone with listing things I'm not used to selling. It was the Boll & Branch sheet set. So apparently, I was able to find this exact set. It was a California King, and Boll & Branch is actually pricey sheets. And I really came to the conclusion that it wasn't used. I think somebody opened up the package and they unfolded the fitted sheet, maybe to try to put it on their bed or even just to look at it. I don't know. But all the rest of the sheets were like folded, and, you know, they had the cardboard in the middle of them. So I could tell that those hadn't been used. And so I just ended up listing and disclosing that, you know, they weren't in the package. The fitted sheet was unfolded, but I didn't see any like stains. It didn't look like it had been washed. So I just listed it that way, and it sold in 3 weeks. The set sold on Poshmark for $125. I think that was an offer too, but still $125 for a pair of sheets that I actually almost didn't list because I don't know how to sell sheets. But here's the thing. If you want to sell sheets, I guess just list the sheets. And if somebody wants to buy the sheets, they will. And I'm sure that's true about anything, but really that's what happened. I didn't unfold them. I just took a picture of what was in the package, like just set it out and then put it back in it came in like a cotton drawstring bag. So I just put it back in there. All right. So that's everything that did sell. There's only a couple things left. There was the Army Tent Beach Tote. So this was an interesting piece, actually. Apparently this company, Vintage Addiction, they make bags and things, bags and maybe clothing, I don't know, but they make it out of like old army tents, like the literal tents used in the army, and they use that fabric and make the bags. So that's why the bag looked a little bit like distressed, and quite frankly, it stunk. It stunk like an army tent. Yeah, that's what this smelled like. So that is still here though. I keep playing with the price on it. I don't really know. That's going to be a right buyer situation for sure. Then there was the Bakugan Bakutin Sectinoid. The comps on these were not great. Maybe as Christmas rolls around here, I might sell that off for a couple dollars, but I'm not super impressed with that. Actually, I may just end up, because it's still like new and sealed, if I still have it in a few weeks, I might just, you know, give that away in a local toy drive or something, because I don't think I'm going to get much for it, if anything at all. It didn't retail for very high anyway. Then there was the brown leather wallet from Robert Graham, which, I mean, this wallet it's a nice wallet, but there was golf tees in the other side of it. And apparently they were like funky colored golf tees that, you know how Robert Graham has funky colored shirts and all that. So that was probably like the valuable part of this gift set, and those golf tees are missing. So no takers on just the wallet, unfortunately. I'm not really surprised. Then there's this Hobo Bag. The brand is literally Hobo. And I've been playing with the price on this one too. It is real leather. It did retail for a decent amount, but then it was on clearance. So that one hasn't sold yet either. It hasn't really had any interest either. Then there was the Crown and Ivy long necklace. I don't have really too much high expectations for this. It's just a basic necklace, so that is what it is. And then there's a couple things that I just didn't list. There were the collar stays. There was a set of 3 collar stays. I did not list those because I dropped one of the pins, and I still can't find it. It's around here with my number 44. For those of you that have been following me for a while, I was doing whatnot shows and I had those little numbers that go in the hangers, and I lost number 44. I still don't know where that is. I still don't know where the missing collar stay pin is. Maybe they're together, having a wonderful life together. I don't know. But if I ever do find that pin, I may consider listing the set. It wasn't super expensive anyway, so there's that. And then there was that self-heating mug. Those things are not cheap, and that probably would have been a really good thing to sell, except the mug itself was cracked. So, in fact, I think the whole thing was cracked, because I was like, well, maybe I can just sell the heater part, and that was cracked too. So that had to go in the garbage. And then the last thing was the testosterone test. So that was actually like new, sealed and packaged, not expired, but none of the platforms would let me sell it. It got flagged on every single platform for like medical items or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm not going to risk it. How am I going to try to sell this? And would it even really be worth all that much if I did? So that I didn't sell either. But yeah, that's the whole box. So here is my verdict. I paid $300 for this box, and so far my profit is $410.02, which means I have made my $300 back plus an additional $410. I have doubled my money and then some. So was this a good box? Yeah, it was a lot of work. I did have to do some research. I definitely had to get out of my comfort zone and list some things that I don't normally list, but it was a good time. And I was very excited, surprised and excited about how quickly this stuff sold once I actually got it listed. So many of these items sold in the first week. So that was very, very exciting. Like I said in the beginning, as soon as I opened this one, I was like, oh my gosh, the Quicklotz boxes are good right now. I need to go order another one. I did order another one, so you'll have to stay tuned to see if that box was as good as this one was, or if it was a fluke, because if this one being their sample box that they had on the website, So you'll have to stay tuned for that. Make sure you are subscribed if you want to see that. Let me know what you think. Are you surprised by the results of this box? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm definitely interested to hear what you think. Drop me a like on the way out. That certainly helps out my channel so much, and I appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and going on this crazy Quicklotz box adventure with me. And that's it for today, friends. Thanks again, and I will catch you in the next one.